This is the start of my stream and pond build. I'll show you the plan shortly, but to begin with, the area outside the sunroom needed clearing of slates. Under the slates is a weed membrane, which also needed lifting. This is how it looked before I started on the 1st of August 2026. Up at the top of the patio where the stream will start, there were two large clumps of Mombretia, with dozens of bulbs that needed digging out. With those removed, it was then 3 days of digging out slates. This speeded up clip of the clearing was 2 hours work, which compressed down to 1 minute. This is the plan, with the stream formed by a series of linked ponds. By doing it this way, rather than one long stream with a constant fall, should the pump stop or be switched off for maintenance, only a small amount of water will drain to the bottom. The stream will start with this pot, which will become a bog filter. A slow flow of water will pour out of this pot into the top of the pond. There will also be a fast flow filter underwater in the top pond, starting in this crate, and this will provide the main flow for the stream. Both will help to filter out algae. Flowing along the edge of the patio, it will drop down a waterfall as it turns the patio corner to the next main pond. This runs along the front edge of the patio to the next set of falls. The path slopes down to the lawn from here, with a larger drop and another set of waterfalls. It then turns between the hebe and the cornflowers, curving around the hebe to the left to a small slate beach. This will allow animals and birds access to the shallow water. Alongside the beach is where the bottom pond begins, and this curves right and doubles back on itself, leading to the intake bay and pump vault beside the purple hebe. It rained all morning on the 4th of August, so I didn't get out into the garden until 1 p.m. I needed to make a bulk purchase of large slate blocks for the stream edging, but to help with the initial digging, I bought a couple of large slates from a local garden centre. These were too big as they were, but were cut into 5 smaller pieces. I then had a quick go with the grinder and hammer to turn the cut edges into a more natural look. 5 minutes of work gave a reasonable appearance on the first test piece, but the rest could wait until they were needed. After the slates, I turned my attention to 2 rows of bricks that I'd uncovered while slate clearing. I thought they'd put up a fight, but the first row was just a single layer bedded on around 2 inches of gritty mortar. The second row was 2 bricks high on mortar. Both broke out easily by hammering a crowbar into the joint between the bricks. On the 5th of August, I began digging at the top of the stream, forming a shallow depression for the bog filter pot to sit on. I described this part as a first fix. It isn't the final shape and depth of the stream, just cutting the rough path and moving earth to create the needed bank height either side. After cutting the shelf for the bog filter, I began digging the hole for the fast flow filter crate. I was almost at the required depth when I hit something hard in the bottom of the hole. It was a lump of sandstone from the old school that used to be on this site. After smashing my large hammer trying to break it up, I tried more digging in a crowbar. The crowbar suddenly slipped and my hand shot forwards with my body weight behind it, and it hit a sharp cut-off tree root, digging a big hole in the back of my middle finger on my left hand. So after a while cleaning up the hole in my finger, getting some antiseptic cream and a bandage, I got back to work. After lots more digging and levering with the crowbar, I finally got 2 large sandstone blocks out. For scale, they are sitting next to a 5-litre paint pot. With the large stones removed, the hole was probably a bit too deep, but I can backfill that with some sieved soil to give a nice smooth flat base. A plant pot stands in for the bog filter and was used to dig the shelf the right size. This depression will be filled with small slates, linking the start of the stream to the rest of the slated area. From there, I started digging out from the crate, around the corner of the patio, where there's a height drop, and then along the front edge of the patio. I wanted to leave some small soil areas between the large edging slates and the patio to plant some flowers. Digging continued along the front of the patio, curving around next to the current mini pond and heading down parallel to the sloping path. This area is the largest height drop and will need a couple of waterfalls to accommodate the height change. At the corner, I'm leaving another soil area to replant the blue flowers that were dug out during the clearing. The stream continued until alongside the Hebe, moving the soil to the bottom of the pond area to build up the edge height for the main pond. I also began digging out the hole for the pump vault. By this time, I'd been digging for 7 hours, and my knees, back and finger were really sore, so I called it a day. On Friday the 7th, I was back to digging at the main pond. On the side facing the lawn, the height needed raising, as the whole site is sloping. To get a constant height all around the bottom pond, I set a number of wooden pegs into the ground using a spirit level. The earth that was dug out of the pond was built up around these wooden pegs and tamped down to compact it with a 10-pound tamper. With the edge of the pond built up, more of the pond itself was excavated. Some of the soil was spread around the outside of the pond to blend it into the rest of the landscape. After that, I started dumping it into a large bulk bag near the sunroom. This may be used later. If I do end up using it, it's going to need sieving because there's an awful lot of stones in it. I gradually worked around, linking the stream to the pump vault hole. Digging is quite slow, as there are many stones of all different sizes, plus I found several bricks and part bricks buried. I'm gradually barrowing them out of the way to a bulk bag on the patio, and eventually they'll go to the tip. The pond area is currently around 12 inches deep, but it needs to go deeper. Deeper water will stay cooler and will reduce evaporation, and I'll also lose a bit of depth to gravel on the bottom, so it needs a few more inches deeper before I'll be happy. I did 5 hours of work today before packing up just before 6 p.m. The last clip is a walk down the stream at the end of today, showing the progress for the week. I'll do another update in a week's time, and we'll see how we're getting on then. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.